Welcome back to our series on Rewrite Your Life. This is the opportunity for you to use the book structure to create change in your practice and in your day and in your life. So, today we're talking about obstacles. What now is holding you back from the life you want, from that dream you have for your future, for your community, for your family, for your firm? This is a place to consider things that are holding you back, lack of education that's holding you back, or particular people. And I want you to journal about this, and I really encourage you to handwrite this information, to put it down on paper. What is holding you back? What is keeping you from having the dream, having what you want? Where are you now that feels stuck, that feels like you can't make that change? And focus first on the external things or start from the inside. And I know for some of us, what's holding us back is the fear that it won't be enough, that it won't be good enough. I know for some of us, the thing that's holding us back is this idea that we don't know enough, and I want to dig into that a little bit in a moment. And I know that for some of us, the thing that is holding us back is this belief that we can't do that. I want to dig in real quick to we don't know enough. Now, I'm a lawyer and I'm barred in 3 states, although 2 are inactive at the moment. And I still come up against this a lot. And truthfully, it is one of those great strength, greatest weaknesses moments because I love to learn. I love to know the new things. So the difficulty with this is that the flip side, the dark side of this love to learn is that you feel like you never know enough. You will never be expert enough. You will never reach that 100% marker or even that 95% marker for those of you who have that little bit of perfectionist tendency that makes you feel like, yes, I'm an expert in this. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. That we don't allow ourselves to hit that level because there is always more to learn. We know this as real learners, there is always more. And this is the dark side of that thought that I don't know enough. It is, do you know enough even to begin a tiny experiment that will move you forward? Because if you don't, that's an easy place to learn. It may be a one piece of a skill chain that you want to do. And so part of not knowing enough is identifying, and it's the thought, oh, I don't even know where to start. Actually, you do. And if you do know where to start, then you can move forward. The internet these days is filled with information and advice and places that you can begin to hook into that learning. There are amazing books out there. There are lots of resources, even for lawyers, even at your local bar, that can give you what you need to take that first step. And so the key is that you don't need 100%. You don't even need 90% knowledge to be able to move forward. This is the time to go. So if that is one of your obstacles, I encourage you to think about this may be a belief rather than reality. The third piece where you don't believe it can be true. My story is that before 2020, I spent over 6 months traveling through Southeast Asia, continuing my legal practice. And I had the best time. But I can't tell you over and over again how many lawyers and other people that I met who were like, can you even do that? I distinctively remember one dinner in Tokyo with a friend of mine from law school. And she said, is that even legal? Like, is it okay to practice? And truthfully, a lot of the bars didn't contemplate this idea of remote working before 2020. This was a time when I had to train my clients how to use Zoom and how the world has changed, right? How things are different, how our sense of what's possible has expanded. So if there is a belief holding you back, consider that it may not be true. consider that it may be a lie that your brain is telling you, that is just a thought and not reality. It is not a fact. One of the things that my particular firm came into, we considered as an obstacle, is we wanted to do a subscription process for our business and IP clients where they could pay on a regular basis and they would have access to particular services. And when we first proposed this to the bar, they didn't even know how to answer the question. Like, ethically, can we do this? Can we charge on this kind of basis? Can we do this for our clients? And they didn't even know how to answer the question. Like, they had never even considered something like this. And it was one of those things that was so funny because, of course, the law takes time to catch up. And, sometimes you have to do things in a way that, um, that will be acceptable to the ethical guidelines that we practice under, as well as the business needs that your firm has. And I think with this, there was a thing where we had to charge at the end of the month and not at the beginning of the month. It was strange little things like that that we were able to work around, but it was something that hadn't even been considered. And so for this, it's what obstacles are holding you back, whether they're regulatory, whether they're your perception of reality, whether there are things like I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough associates, or I need to hire somebody and I don't know how to do that. All of those things, I want you to write them all down, get them all out of your head. If you need to, if you're a verbal processor, speak it and have it on text. But then I really encourage you as much as possible to write it, because there is something about the process of physically writing the things and then reading them that will give you more information into what you feel is truly holding you back. And if you are interested in taking this series of obstacles and putting them into a quest story, your adventure story of where you are now and how stuck you are and where you want to be and how you're going to get there. This is a series where we talk about the beginning of the story and the end of the story and what you do along the way. This is your opportunity to write a little book that tells your personal story from stuck to triumph. There will be a link to the playlist. You can start. You can start with the end. You can start with the beginning. And this will be the obstacles. Next time, we'll talk about how you can overcome those obstacles. But right now, I want you to just focus on what seems to be standing in your way. I'm Moira. I'm a former IP attorney turned legal strategist, and I love this stuff. So if you want to go deeper, you can click the link below and we'll get you something juicy to help you move forward. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy lawyering.